What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more content for you guys, and we'll be looking back at the Tottenham players, how they've got on their respective international duties and international breaks. Still more games to come over the coming days, but we're going to start off talking about Mikey Moore, as he's taken part in 2 games so far over the course of the international break. He came on 15 minutes at the end of the England 2-0 win over Wales, and he played 90 minutes in England's 0-0 draw against Turkey.
Under what? Under 20s?
Under 19s.
Under 19s.
Yeah. So it's a bit underwhelming that he was on the bench for the first game, but he did get the start in the second game.
Yeah, but he came on and did what? Win the first game?
He came on the last 15 minutes.
I thought he did something.
I don't think so, no.
I thought he got an assist or something. Okay. But look, I know he's not had the most game time for Tottenham in recent weeks. I was hoping he would go away in international duty and really kind of do really well. A lot of people were hoping he got called up for like the under-21s or even the under-20s with Scarlett, but in the under-19s. But you got to remember he's 17, so he's still kind of above his age group. But yeah, obviously we want more from him, or for him, I should say. But I mean, I'm not too right.
He did get an assist.
Yeah, he got an assist
for the second goal.
Yeah. So that's positive. That's good. Hopefully that gives him a bit more confidence to come back to Spurs. And I don't know how much. The problem is I don't know how much game time he is going to get between now and the end of the season for Tottenham.
Yeah, I think he's with the under-21s now. I think that's the reality with him from now on to the end of the season. He came in for the first game, did really well, scored a brilliant goal. With Matisse Tell having to get a lot of game time, with Brennan Johnson there, with copious amounts of winners. Wilson Odobert, who we'll get into in a minute, did unbelievable for France under-21s. The reality is Mikey Moore is down the pecking order. Yeah,
he's going to have to bide his time, which I can understand a lot of fans are frustrated about at the moment. But you still, as I say, he's 17. You've got to remember that.
Yeah. So that's Mikey Moore. Let's go on to Son Heung-min, as he took part in Korea's 1-1 draw with Oman. Not the greatest of performances from Sonny, unfortunately, and a disappointing result for South Korea, which they would have been fully expecting to win the game. They go 1-0 up, not the greatest performance from the team. And if we take a look at his stats, which we'll get into here, he did create 3 key passes on the day for Korea. Nice little heat map there as well. So, I mean, he was fairly involved, but just not the greatest of performances.
Yeah, and you expect, obviously, Korea are heavy favourites. You expect them to really win this comfortably, and they really made it a struggle. They did go 1-0 up, and Oman had very little, and Son definitely had some opportunities to put the game to bed. But unfortunately, Son was the one as well that made the mistake for the equaliser, giving the ball away in a silly area just outside his own penalty area, and it directly led to Oman equalising quite late on in the game. And he also, in those last few minutes when Korea were trying to get that last-minute winner, he was making quite a few mistakes in the final third. Loose passes, didn't quite have that killer instinct, and he'll be very frustrated with his performance because usually in these games, obviously, he's a match winner. And unfortunately, in this game, his mistake led to Oman equalising, so it wasn't the best day for him.
Yeah, and it puts the group in a little bit of jeopardy now. They do play Jordan tomorrow, and as you can see, Jordan are second in the group. Korea are top and Iraq are third, but only 3 points in it from Korea to Iraq. So if Iraq and Korea lose tomorrow, then it sets it up for 2 massive games in the summer.
Yeah, so let's hope Korea can get the job done tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on and let's talk about Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro is involved in 2 fantastic games over the course of the international break. 2-legged tie against the Netherlands. The first game finished 2-2, where he played 90 minutes. The second game finished 3-3, where he actually came on in extra time. I'm going to get the stats up for you in 1 second. So here is his first game. 2-2 with Nico Williams and Marino getting the equaliser in stoppage time. Pedro Porro, so 1 clearance, 1 interception, was dribbled past once. I mean, quite aggressive. 3 ground duels, 1 out of 4. 2 aerial duels, 1 out of 3. Was bought a couple of fouls as well. I don't know if you saw any of this game, but 2 really exciting games for Spain.
Yeah, and he does seem to be kind of establishing himself as the number 1 fullback. I know he didn't start the following game. Maybe I don't know if they're rotating, or maybe he was just dropped because he wasn't good enough. But
Oscar Mingueza, who started ahead of him.
Yeah, but he seems to be the preferred one at the moment to start right fullback for Spain. So that's obviously quite good for himself and his confidence. A lot of fans are not happy with him at Tottenham at the moment, saying he's not playing well and all these different things. I do think there's a very good fullback there, and I do think there's a very good player there. And the fact that he starts a lot for Spain now, I think shows that. But obviously in these two games, defensively, they conceded 5 goals over the 2 games, so it wasn't exactly the tightest ship. But I think Porro is starting to establish himself in that Spanish team, which is a really good Spanish team that won the Euros, and they're really developing really nicely. And I think if he can really be a part of that, I reckon his stock will rise pretty quickly.
Yeah, so obviously this was a Nations League quarter-final game, I believe. So Spain booked their place in the semi-finals on penalties against the Netherlands. Pedro Porro did not step up, did not take a penalty in the penalty shootout, but Netherlands obviously were knocked out. Let's move on and talk about Destiny Udogie, who got 2 starts for Italy in their game, their doubleheader against the Germans. Germany won the first leg 2... No, they won. What was the
2-1? They won 2-1 away, and they drew 3-3 at home.
Oh, I thought this game went to extra time. Did it not?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so Germany obviously go through, Italy go out, and I was looking at a few reports from Italian fans and Italian journalists. They weren't that happy with Destiny Udogie's, particularly his first leg display.
Yeah. I read that it was some fans were saying it was a new low for him. Apparently, I mean, unfortunately I didn't watch the game, but the report suggested he didn't have the best game. I heard it was the second leg, but maybe it was the first leg as well. He didn't have a great game, but obviously they're 3-0 down in the second leg.
Maybe it was even worse.
Maybe it was even worse in the second leg, which is not great to hear. A lot of people, saying what's happened to him. Now he's putting out these performances. A lot of people, though, going into these games, seeing Udogie play wing back, were saying look at him playing in his more natural position. This is, we're going to see the best of him, but it didn't quite happen, unfortunately, for him on the day. I can't really comment in terms of what I thought of his performance. I didn't watch it, but it's not great to hear. And I don't know if you saw as well, there were some really disgusting tweets about him.
I did see that, yeah.
I don't know who it was from, I think some Italian fans or whatever it was, putting out some really very clearly racist tweets about him, which is really, really disgusting to hear. And I hope he's doing okay if he reads that kind of stuff, because it was really horrible that was kind of circulating on social media after the game.
I did see one thing. I don't know if it was like a multitude of different tweets from different people, but I definitely saw one that did go quite far and did go fairly viral on social media. So obviously it's disgusting to hear that kind of stuff, and let's hope that Destiny didn't take too much notice of it, really.
But in terms of him playing wise, obviously he's out the team at the moment for Tottenham. We know that Spence is currently our number 1 left back. He is kind of being rotated in. It's not like he's not getting no game time, but definitely he hasn't been brilliant, let's be honest, since he's come back from injury. But again, he's had surgery, and maybe it just takes a bit of time for him to get back to his best.
Yeah, with Destiny as well, I feel like, because they usually start Di Lorenzo, right, at left back, at left wing back. And I feel like because of they had injuries at centre-back, Calafiori obviously got injured in the first game, and they've had to mix and match and move things around. He is being kind of judged against Di Lorenzo, who's like literally one of the best in Europe in that position. Of Destiny obviously is a young player, up and coming and learning his trade still. So I feel like maybe the Italian fans could be harshly judging him. I read that from a report in the first game anyway. Yeah,
okay. So let's hope he starts to improve. Obviously, I think the game time probably would have helped him anyway, just to get some more game time in his legs, seeing as he's not playing that consistently for Spurs. But it's a shame that he's not really playing that well, because obviously last season we saw when he was at his best how brilliant he can be, and there were games where he was locking up Saka and Salah, and he thought, what a talent we have. Unfortunately, I thought in the back end of last season he was quite poor. Had that surgery. He got injured at the back end of last season as well. Came back this season, and I thought beginning of the season was fairly inconsistent, and then he picked up another injury, and now it's been fairly poor. So let's hope he can get back to his best sooner rather than later. But he's still young. He's still 21, so he's got so much time. People just forget how young these players are
because of what he looks like. He looks so built and massive physique and massive frame about him, and he's so strong. So it's easy to forget how young he actually is. Next up, we're going to talk about Yves Bissouma. Obviously, a lot of critics coming his way at the moment. He captained the Mali side to a 3-0 win against Comoros. Played 80 minutes, grabbed himself 2 assists in the making as well. And that just carries on his fine form for Mali. Like literally every single international break, we're talking about a goal contribution or two from Yves Bissouma. If you want to look at his stats in the game, I don't know if that's the right position where he played in. There's naturally no stats here, which is a shame.
Well, I think he does. Was that showing him in the number 10?
No, it's showing him at right wing.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I've actually got his assists here, which we'll get into.
But he does definitely seem to take a more offensive role for Mali.
So look at this. Look at that pass that he played. We'll play that again.
Sorry, I can't really see. One sec.
Oh, such a great pass there for the goal.
Oh, lovely flick. Yeah, that is a nice pass.
And then this was his
he wears the number 10 for Mali.
And this was his second one. Another nice route pass. So yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem to lack confidence playing in a Mali shirt. That's for sure.
Maybe because he feels like he's the main man. He feels the love. He's the captain. He's more trusted to go forward. At Tottenham, it's just very different. The feeling at the moment is he's on his way out. He's not playing so regularly. He plays in a completely different position where he's got a lot of defensive responsibility. Whereas for Mali, it seems to be different. So, look, obviously the level of position as well, you have to take that into account. But I think when it comes to Bissouma himself, maybe just the shackles are a bit released when it comes to when he goes on international duty.
Yeah, it's probably just like a bit of a breath of fresh air getting away from the Tottenham scenery for Yves Bissouma. But yeah, big up to Yves because he's done very well on international duty. Next up, we could have talked about Dom Solanke. England played Albania in Tuchel's first game. It finished 2-0 against Albania. Unfortunately, Solanke didn't get on the pitch, but hoping to get more game time tonight against Latvia. Just a quick word on Tuchel and England's first game. I mean, I wasn't overly impressed, to be honest. I thought Lewis Skelly was probably our best player at left back. Obviously got the opening goal as well. But I mean, I didn't see much difference from him and Southgate, to be honest.
Yeah, again, I didn't watch the game. I've just seen the highlights. But from what I can see, there does seem to obviously be a few adjustments, especially with how the wingers tend to play a bit and how congested a lot of the central areas are. Obviously, he stuck Foden on the wing and decided to play Bellingham in the 10. We know Foden isn't the best in that position, I think, at the moment, or is not his best position. He can play there. Started Rashford, which is quite interesting because Rashford looking like his England career was over not so long ago, and now all of a sudden he's starting for England again. So fair play to him. At the
beginning of the game, Rashford
yeah, and obviously Harry Kane's still doing what Harry Kane does, scoring goals and playing very well. So I think it's going to be a bit of an adjustment period. I think Tuchel's a very intense manager, and it's going to take a bit of time for everyone to get up to speed. But he's got unbelievable talent to choose from. So I think, to be fair, in terms of being a big departure from Southgate, does it have to be? He got to 2 finals, didn't he? So I don't think it has to be a complete overhaul.
No, it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul. But what Tuchel was saying in the game, leading up to the game, is that he wants to see more excitement with this team. He wants to see more intensity with this team. And that's obviously what was a massive critic against Southgate, the excitement with the players that we do have. And I just don't think it was a step closer to that, really. But it's only one game.
Fair enough.
Next up, we're going to talk about Jamie Donley, who changed his international allegiances to Northern Ireland. He accepted the call and he made his debut in a 1-1 draw against Switzerland. So really good result for Northern Ireland, to be fair. He came on with half an hour to go, had 1 shot on target. Didn't get too involved, to be fair, but he did nearly score on the day, didn't he?
Yeah, with a header. Big coup, I would say, for Northern Ireland to get someone like Donley, someone of his quality and his potential at a young age. What do you think of his decision to do that? Because obviously, doing very well for Leyton Orient, I think he is 20, and to be fair, you look at his age range for England, and you've got players, similar age to him who are just world stars, and he's just not at that level yet. So for him, when you're assessing his decision to do that, do you think, it's the right decision?
I think it's a personal choice and a personal preference. I think that he does have close ties to Ireland and Northern Ireland with his family. So I'm not sure if it was a decision made on kind of sporting merit or it was a decision made on his close family ties and where he feels kind of more at home.
But if it was made on sporting merit?
if it was made on sporting merit, I would say that, I mean, if I was him, I would have kind of bided my time and see where it goes, give it a year or two to see if he can kind of be in the reckoning for that England squad. But yeah, obviously England is a team and a country in terms of the football with a much bigger stature in the game. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to make of it, but I genuinely believe it wasn't done on sporting merit. It was more done on kind of family ties.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. But if it was on a sporting merit, I kind of understand it because he's got a chance to be like the main man for a country which he has close ties to. Whereas, let's be honest, for England, is he ever really going to get a go there? I don't know. I mean, he's still young and he's maybe got a chance to show that he's up there with some of the best English talent there. But at the moment, if you look at the age, like the players in the age range that he's in, like even Bellingham's not that much older than him, you know what I mean? So the talent pool for that kind of position for England is, I just don't see him ever really getting there.
If I'm someone like Jamie Donley, 19 years of age, with a big future in the game, I would back my ability to go and do something. Because if he starts getting regular starts for Tottenham in a year or two, you never know what can come.
True. But at the moment he's in League One.
Yeah, right now, but he's 19.
Fair enough. Yeah, true, he's quite young. But he doesn't even get, did he play under 21s for England?
I think he played at some level. I can't remember. Did he play at under 21s? I think he did. Maybe it was less than that. I don't think he got into the under 21 squad just yet.
I just think it would have been very, very difficult. But maybe he's, I don't know if he's, look, it's so early to say, but maybe he's thinking, am I ever really going to become an England regular? And maybe I've got a chance to really be a star here.
Yeah, but being a star in Northern Ireland and being like part of the team in England, I'd still rather be part of the team in England because realistically, what are Northern Ireland going to do in world football? You know, England have a genuine chance of winning all the tournaments.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But he might not be a part of that. But look, good luck to him. I hope he does really well, and I hope he fulfills whatever ambitions he wants for Northern Ireland. And if it's made, you know, due to his family ties and all that kind of stuff, or kind of, he has to have family ties there if he's going to make that decision. But good luck to him, and I hope it all pays off. And I think it's a major coup for Northern Ireland, and fair play to them for getting him in, because I think he can be a really good player for them.
Yeah. All right, let's move on and let's talk about this really exciting game, which was France under-21s against England under-21s. It finished 5-3 to France. Wilson Odobert starting the game. 2 assists on the day for him. Tell came on with half an hour to go, and Archie Gray came on for the last 10 minutes, which was interesting because Archie Gray, I believe, came on at centre-back. So in this game, let's just have a look at the individual stats. And a player that's been linked with Spurs over the years as well, Ryan Cherky as well, having an unbelievable game. And a player who we're about to come up against, and Hugo Ekitike, scored a hat-trick on the day with Wilson Odobert laying on 2 assists for him. And obviously Ethan Nwaneri as well, making his debut for the under-21s, Joe Bellingham. I mean, just look at the talent that was on the pitch in this game. I mean,
it's crazy.
I've never seen an under-21 game with so much talent. I mean, you had Lukeba at centre-back for France. Like I said, Cherky. You had Akilouche as well, Odobert, Ekitike, and the England team. You had McAtee, Delap, Philogene, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, Harwood Bellis, Rico Lewis.
It's like a Premier League game.
Yeah, and Alex Scott as well. It was unbelievable, the talent that was on show. But if we look at Wilson Odobert, who absolutely cooked Rico Lewis out on that side of the flanks. 2 key passes, 2 assists, 1 out of 1 cross, 2 big chances created, shot off target. I mean, he really did kind of play an unbelievable game of football, Wilson Odobert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the stats really show. If you look at his individual highlights, he was absolutely fantastic, some of the stuff he was doing in the game, and they couldn't handle him on the wings. And also what was really interesting, again, which I've noticed when he plays for Tottenham, is when he cuts inside and goes into those number 10 areas, he's really effective in those areas with his little incisive passes and the way of pass he has there. And he was doing some really good stuff there, good link-up play on the game. And I know it's easy to think he got 2 assists, but it's only under 21s. But as you say, look at the talent there. That was like Premier League opposition he was facing. Like Rico Lewis, plays very regularly for Man City and does pretty well. So the fact he cooked him as easily as he did is not to be sniffed at. And obviously he actually got 2 assists, one from the right side and one from the left side as well. So showing his adaptability, showing his ability to play on both sides of the pitch. He had one moment where he cut inside 25 yards, had a shot which just went over the bar as well. He was absolutely phenomenal when it comes to his wing play, and obviously that carries on, some good play for Tottenham as well. So it looks like he's really gaining confidence at the moment. He's really starting to come into his own, hopefully, and hopefully we can take that into the latter stages of our season, because we've missed him for the whole season. We've missed this ability. We haven't had someone doing this kind of stuff on the pitch, and the manager we had for most of the season, could be very different.
And this is him just putting Rico Lewis in a pretzel.
Yeah, when one
Literally,
say, Rico didn't know what way to go. And what was great there is once he beat his man, he laid it on a plate 2 times. One with his right foot, one with his left foot as well. So phenomenal stuff from him. The finish, I know Ekiteke has to be in the right position, but, simple finishes because he's laid on a plate from Wilson.
And, him just embracing Tell as he's going off the pitch. Archie Gray having a little huggle with him as well. And Archie Gray there just embracing Tell. I don't know what that is. But let's go on to Dane Scarlett, as he played in a game against Portugal for the under-20s. He captained the side and also scored a goal. Ashley Phillips also started in this game. So this is his goal. If you look at Dane Scarlett, nice little poacher's finish at the back.
Yeah, not
post.
the hardest goal, it's fair to say, but he's still got to be there, sniff the opportunity, and he did that. So he has been scoring regularly on international duty whenever he's gone away, so that's really great. Unfortunately, again, with Richarlison set to come back, it'll be interesting to see how much game time as well Scarlett's going to be getting, unfortunately. But let's hope maybe in the Premier League he gets a few minutes here and there.
Yeah. Rodrigo Bentancur and Romero faced each other in a fiery encounter out in Uruguay as Argentina won 1-0. Both players played 90 minutes. Now Argentina played Brazil and Uruguay played Bolivia. And Romero and Bentancur definitely showed love to each other, but I can't say much more about the rest of the team. If you look how happy he was. But Romero didn't have those smiles from any of the Uruguay players, I'll tell you that, as it was definitely a fiery encounter that was breaking out in arguments and fights throughout the game.
It was always going to, Argentina-Uruguay was never going to be a simple game, was it? It wasn't going to be a nice game.
No, but it was a game where both players actually played really well. Nico Gonzalez, did get sent off in the latter stages of the game, but this was Romero's performance. Obviously, you have that heat map that Romero always brings you, but 4 clearances, 1 block shot, 3 interceptions, 1 tackle. Fairly low percentage of ground duels, but only 3 contested and 1 won. 2 out of 2 aerial duels, which we've been accustomed to seeing a lot from Romero in his Premier League games. And with Rodrigo Bentancur actually had a especially good game. Covered a lot of ground in the game. 6 out of his 7 long balls were accurate. So that's brilliant stuff. And 4 out of 4 aerial duels won as well. And he did give away 3 fouls.
Playing in the number 6 as well.
Yeah.
Playing in the number 6 position with the number 6 on his back as well. So seemed to have a really good game there, which is quite interesting. A lot of people saying that's not his position, but he seemed to do that fine on this game. But Romero, we know how good he is for Argentina. No surprise he comes back in the team. And as soon as he's fit and available, he's like their main defender, plays 90 minutes. It was interesting, we heard reports, he's only going to play 90 in one of them, but we'll see on, I don't know if when it is Wednesday, if he's going to play 90 again against Brazil, because I don't know if he'll be able to stop himself, you know what I mean? If he pronounces himself fit, I'm sure Argentina will just play him, but we'll see. But a great game, completely bullied the Uruguay front line. They didn't really have a kick. I think Nunes, he was really struggling against Romero physically. Romero just really bullied him. And I watched some of his individual highlights. Some of his passing forward was brilliant. He was getting back to his best, to be honest. So it was really great to see. And great for Bentacur as well.
With Bentancur in the number 6, I was watching this game, and obviously I think Bentancur played a really good game of football. But what I did notice about the game, it was a fairly slow, when you compare it to the Premier League, it's a really slow-paced game. Like the Premier League can be like a million miles an hour at times, and I think that's the moments where Bentancur can struggle in the 6 when the game is really fast. And it's like non-stop action. But this game and kind of South American games can be quite slow-paced at times, and I think he thrives in that kind of situation.
Yeah, maybe there's something to that. Obviously, their manager's Bielsa is not known for his slow football. But
yeah, that's why I was actually confused, because I was expecting like a really fast-paced game with Bielsa, but it wasn't like that.
Maybe it was just Argentina slowing it down a bit more.
Yeah.
But fair play to both of them. Two good performances. Do you think Romero starts against Brazil?
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't see him not starting that game.
It's like, as I said before, like he is their Van Dijk. Like he is a special player for them. Like they believe he's the best defender in the world. That's what they believe in Argentina.
Well, Messi believes it anyway.
I think all the Argentinians do, because why wouldn't you with what he's done for them? You know what I mean? So I think if they can get him on the pitch, they will.
Yeah, the reality is, though, this game doesn't really mean that much to Argentina. I know it's Argentina-Brazil, and that always means something, but in terms of the group and qualifying for the World Cup, it's pretty much done already.
Yeah, they're well top of the league at the moment, so they're doing very well, yeah.
Next up, we're going to talk about Lucas Bergvall, as we brought you an update a couple of days ago saying that he's pulled out the game through illness, so he didn't take part in any of the matchday squad. And another report has just come out saying that he's still not going to be fit enough to play the game against Northern Ireland, so he's not going to get that link up with Jamie Donley, and apparently he's been given the license to return back to Tottenham earlier than expected as well.
So not great. Let's just hope. Look, to be fair, from a Tottenham point of view, that we don't have a game for another 9 days. So I'm hoping by that time he's gotten over it. It's only an illness. It's not like an injury. So let's hope it's not too bad. But obviously it's not great for him. A chance to represent his country, especially given his good form. It would have been really good reward for the form he's been showing for Tottenham to really try and cement himself for Sweden as well. So it's a shame for him. But from Tottenham, hopefully just means he's all right for when we face Chelsea.
Let's hope so. Pape Matar Sarr came on at half-time in a 0-0 draw against Sudan for Senegal, and they play Togo tomorrow in the day, but not really many stats to go on. But it was kind of a bore 0-0 draw.
I don't know what to say. Fair play to Sarr.
Nothing to say.
Not much to say.
And last but not least, we're going to look at Wales, as Davies and Johnson, it's fair to say, had conflicting games for Wales, as Wales beat Kazakhstan by 3-1. Davies captained the side, played 90 minutes, got a goal and an assist to his name, dragging his country to a win. And Johnson played 60 minutes, and he played up front in the striking role, or the striker's position. And fair to say, he didn't have the greatest of games.
Yeah, it's a position they tend to play him quite a bit, Brennan, for when he plays for his country, and he just never really seems to do much when he's there.
11 touches in an hour.
Yeah, struggled. He's just, I don't really see him as a great number 9, especially when he's playing teams where they have to dominate. Like, I think when you're playing teams when you're high up on the pitch and there's a quick breakaway and things like that, I think he could be a bit effective. But in these kind of games, he just gets bullied a bit. He's not very good with his back to goal. So I think he struggled to impact the game. So unfortunately for him, I think he got hooked when he got hooked on the hour mark against Kazakhstan, which is not a great look, is it, when you're supposed to be one of the main players for Wales. But I think he didn't play in a great position. But fair play to Ben Davies. Done very well. Goal and assist from corners. Maybe he should have been played up front.
Yeah, he probably should. It's mad that he's getting more goal contributions than Brennan Johnson. This was his assist. I mean, not the greatest of assists, but assisting is an assist these days. And this is his goal with a powerful header at the back post. So big up to Ben Davies, doing his country proud, as he always does. But that is it from us today. That is your international roundup. A couple more days to go of international break, and then we got to go another weekend without Tottenham, because Spurs don't play till Thursday a week. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on Spurs.